Welcome back to the Sibling Group Chat. I'm Owen.
And I'm Cassidy.
Today we are back at it with the Odyssey review, episode 49, Auld Lang Syne.
Yes, this is the 55th episode of Adventures in Odyssey, and it originally aired on December 31st, 1988, and it is a lost episode. It's been a while since we reviewed a lost episode. But in this episode, Wit and his friend Tom Riley look back at their adventures over the last year. Our themes are appreciation, the importance of memories, and reflecting on your life.
Yeah. I'm just going to go out there and say this right now. Best lost episode yet.
I would agree, but it's also kind of a filler episode. Like, not much effort had to go into it.
That's fair. And I have more thoughts to go along with that at the end. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, this has been the best lost episode to this point.
That could
I
perhaps
don't
be
know.
because it's filled with unlost clips from episodes.
It could be. I don't know.
I would agree with you as well, but it's just because
I
it
have
feels
thoughts
more normal.
about why, other than just that, and I'll get into that at the end
Okay,
after we've gone
yeah.
through it. But even I like Chris's intro because Chris's intro,
Yeah.
she's going through her closet at the end of the year because she does that to like get rid of old clothes and whatever. But some of the clothes that she pulls out are clothes that she was wearing in other intros
Yeah.
in the previous year, and I think that's funny.
Yeah, it's funny also that she says she needs some music, which cues the theme music, which happens from time to time. That something Chris does in her opening cues the music.
Mhm.
But yeah, I thought it was funny. She mentioned an outfit she wore to camp. I didn't know Chris went to camp.
Like I said, I didn't know Chris was there, but the one I really liked was like Washington D.C. when she
Washington,
talks
D.C.
to the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, that one was funny.
I mean, she says sometimes it's good to go through and remember things and going through memories, and that's exactly what Whit and Tom are going to be doing in today's adventure in Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a big New Year's Eve bash at Whit's End.
Yes, a huge New Year's Eve bash. Yes.
Whit likes to throw a good bash, you know.
Yeah, he likes to throw one and then sneak away. Apparently.
Whit sneaks away from his own party. He's in a back room, and Tom's going to look for him. And Whit's in a back room just reflecting on everything that's happened in the last year.
Mm-hmm. I think Tom was like, "It's been a busy 12 months, that's for sure." And Whit's like, "Oh, you can say that again. It's been a busy 12 months."
Classic Tom Riley right there. Yeah, so they kind of just go through different things and different like types of things that have happened throughout the year. Thinking about the first thing Wit was reflecting on is maybe they should add healthier items to the menu at Wit's End, which I think was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But
I feel like it's not the first attempt to make like. I think Whit and Eugene both tried to create some like healthy ice cream flavors over the years.
Yeah. Then Tom's like, well, kids don't just come in here for ice cream, you know, they like to do things like inventing things, and he mentions some inventions. The pizza oven has been mentioned.
Which, at this point, I'd like to point out that they pretty much list stuff from the entire run of the show, which is a little over 1 year.
Right, because the pizza oven is the very first episode.
Yeah. But I suppose there's a kind of a pass on that because like that was in November. So they're reminiscing on the last 13 to 14 months.
Right.
Not just the last calendar year.
Yeah. They also mentioned the boredom buster.
Yes, they do.
Apparently that's made its way back to Wit's End.
I guess.
Lives there, I guess. I don't know.
Donna and Jimmy brought it back so
Yeah.
someone else can use
I
it.
mean, it feels like the kind of thing that once you did it once, you would probably know how to do it, so you wouldn't
Yeah.
do it
You
again.
can check. Maybe they check it out from Wits End.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's like a Rubik's Cube where you like try to get faster at it.
Maybe, I don't know. I wonder if
I'm
Jimmy
not
ever figured it out.
Rubik's Cube, but like that idea.
Yeah.
Tom says his favorite thing that Wit has come up with or had invented is the Bible room.
Mm-hmm.
Which, so they reminisce about him opening that up. Yeah, for the most part, I didn't really write too much about what they talk about because if they weren't talking specifically about it, it was just scenes from other episodes.
Yeah, I just kind of made a note of which stuff they referenced.
Yeah.
They talk about people they've met in the last year.
Yeah,
and they mentioned meeting the Barclays.
Characters.
Yeah, but they mentioned meeting the Barclays. Had they not met the Barclays before the last year?
Maybe. I mean, what is the Barclays' first episode? Family Vacation.
Yeah.
And so that does seem like Wit already knew the Barclays before that.
Yeah.
but
I kind of assume they've all always been
known each
there.
other for a while. Yeah,
I don't know.
who
I thought that
knows?
was a little odd.
Yeah, and they also talk about Connie and her mother and Eugene.
That's when
Tom
we get our first flashback.
First flashback is to when Eugene first comes in, and Tom is uh, still confused by Eugene sometimes. After the flashback, Tom says he has never seen anyone use more words to say less.
Yeah,
It's
that'd
not
be accurate.
it's pretty accurate, especially for earlier Eugene. I feel like even like in the earlier episodes, Eugene uses even more words than he does later on.
Yeah. I find it interesting. Whit says that Eugene told him he's going to have a heavier class load in the
I
upcoming
found that
semesters.
as
He won't be around as much. And I got thinking about it. We'll have to see as we listen to it, but I don't think Eugene is around much in album 4.
Could be, but then album
Yeah.
5 he will be, right? Because that's
Applesauce.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, at least something to pay attention to. Because I feel like that's a weird passing comment to make if they
Right.
weren't, like, explaining something. So,
Album 5, Applesauce, it happens in a summer, right? Or at least
yes.
part of it.
Yeah.
So they definitely fast forward to like another year later. Oh no, maybe not. I guess 2 albums would be. I don't know. I feel like they start moving at different paces more so after this.
Yeah, well, we don't have another Christmas episode until there's not one in 4 or 5, I don't think. Is there one? I don't think there's one in 6. 7, I think 7 when when Monty and Jenny come for Christmas might be the next time we have a Christmas episode.
Yeah. I guess we'll have
So
to
we-
see how much it starts to stray from like being kind of real time ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because up to this point, it's been fairly real time ish.
Yeah. Because they've hit a lot of the holidays and stuff that like mark specific times. Like
Right.
later in the show they don't mark specific calendar times as often, so the year stretches out more.
Exactly. But yeah, after that, Tom says something, and I was really confused about it. He thinks Eugene is pulling their leg. I didn't understand what he meant by that.
I guess I forgot or didn't catch that or
But
thought about it or
I don't
something.
know. Regardless of what that was meant by that, they move on from that to thinking about funny moments that have happened over the last year. With Whit's favorite being when Brad and Sherman started Kids Radio. Which the way Whit says it, he must have found like way funnier than like it made it sound like he thought it was hysterical or something.
I know. But I suppose like he's talking to an adult. Like when he was just talking to the kids, I'm sure he like made sure he was like really supportive and like encouraging, but then like just like between him and Tom, he found the whole experience comical.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did
Which
find
is
out. I was
kind
like,
of funny, but they play
I was
like
is
the
it
clip
really that
of
funny?
the first broadcast.
Yeah.
Then they move from that to talking about how the kids have used their imaginations, remembering Erwin Springer and his story about the revolutionary adventure with Nathan Hale that he woke up telling them about after he had fallen off a stool and got knocked out.
Yeah.
So we get a clip of him and Nathan Hale running from the Redcoats.
Yep.
Got some oh wows thrown in there for good measure.
Yeah, I think even Tom said, "Oh wow."
I think after the flashback, he's like, "Oh wow, is right. I wish I could tell the stories like that."
Yeah.
Then they kind of reminisce about the real exciting things that have happened between a tornado hitting town, which would have been in stormy weather, I think, and then the bears from Camp One
Give
and Nine,
one that. Yeah.
and the secret room downstairs. Which
Yeah.
when they started talking about that, I thought that was going to be where the flashback came in, and there wasn't even a flashback in this
No.
section of their reminiscing.
Yeah, I thought it was also interesting that they mentioned the missing train car, which is from a Lost episode, which at this point it wasn't lost yet.
Yeah,
But-
well, I have a theory about that a little bit at the end of the episode between that
Okay.
and also the Erwin Springer reference.
Okay.
But yeah, they reference the missing train car with Michelle Terry. Then they move on to talk about learning about history, specifically Bible history, and so we get a clip from Jack and Lucy's adventure with Jonah through the lens of Mr. Whitaker's storytelling.
Yep.
I forgot, or at least try to forget. The big fish versus whale is overdone in a clip from that episode.
Yeah, it was done like what, twice in that clip?
I think twice in that clip, and I remember when we did that episode, I was like, "We get it, big fish versus whale. We understand."
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a fun little flashback. I always I like Jonah in that clip though, because Jack's like, I usually just get sent to my room, and Jonah, because they're in the fish, is like, I'll trade places with you anytime.
Yeah.
And then that leads them into talking about how Bible stories or I guess biblical ideas anyway are very common topics of conversation at Wit's End. And Wit says it's good that the Bible has become a normal part, and like good that it's not unusual, because that's kind of what Wit's End's all about. And so they think about like what's come of that, especially with Connie having become a Christian, because that's kind of the most obvious showcase of how much they talk about it and how much that can affect people who are around Wit's End a lot.
Yeah.
So they flash back to the scene of Connie becoming a Christian, and then so Whit and Tom are talking about like what to expect in the next year. They say they obviously don't know exactly what to expect, but they know they can trust God's will.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's really the episode. I mean, it's kind of hard to recap too much. I mean, it's just a bunch of clips. So about the whole episode. It's a good episode. I like it.
Yeah, and it's a good idea, especially for an episode that was going to air on New Year's Eve. I like the premise. I find it sweet how, like, I don't know, it ends with, like, Happy New Year, John Avery. Happy New Year, my friend. I was like, oh, the besties.
Yeah. And then, yeah, Chris's outro, she's talking about how God is the Alpha and the Omega. Kind of he's outside of time, and he's in control of everything that happens, so we can trust that he has a plan.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry too much about what to expect, because we can trust God's plan.
Yeah. So what are these theories that you have about this episode?
Well, not really theories necessarily, but I think it had to be lost at some point, and I don't know when they decided what were lost episodes, but like, so they referenced the Erwin Springer episode, which once they arrange into albums happens after this episode. So
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No, it's an album too.
Are you sure?
The Day Independence Came is an album too.
Oh. So what's the history one that they moved like way later?
I don't know. We haven't done one yet.
Yeah, we have. We did an episode that was a history episode from like album 6.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, I know so I'm gonna look.
I'll look at my notes.
Because I remember thinking it was kind of funny that maybe it was the Kirk McGinty episode. The Price of Freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, Price of Freedom. That's it. That's from album 6.
Okay. So never mind with what I was thinking on that one. The other one, like the train car episode, it wouldn't have been redone to this point, but since they redid it, it does happen after this.
The redone version, yeah. Yeah.
That would make that part make sense.
Yeah. That could be true. I feel like they maybe just lost it because they were forming the albums into 12-episode albums, and they just had an extra one, and this was one that, I mean, it's good, but like it's just a recap of previous stuff, and so it didn't need to stay in the official lineup.
Yeah. I also think, like, in terms of this, like, the type of episode, kind of, it made it less easy to do stuff like this, obviously, when they just made Odyssey a little more timeless, because marking it makes them stick to a timeline a little bit more.
Correct,
Having less concrete markers allows them to have as much time as they want, really.
Yeah. I think that in the last year, they've done Valentine's Day, Christmas, Halloween, New Year's, Memorial Day.
Yeah.
They hit a lot of holidays in this first year. And then going forward, they don't as much.
Did the Day Independence go on the 4th?
I think it was around there. Yeah,
Or
there's
around
nothing about the episode saying it's happening at that time, but I think that's when it
Yeah.
aired.
And that would make sense.
Yeah.
Um, and also in the previous year, they hit Christmas and Boxing Day early on too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the Thanksgiving in this year as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've really hit like most major holidays.
Yeah, and I think the other holidays, like Valentine's Day, got removed from Officer Harley. The Halloween one got removed because Halloween, and so this one I don't think it got removed for an issue. I just feel like it
It
didn't.
almost feels like more an
didn't need
episode
to
that they're
keep it.
like, it doesn't need to go in an album, but there's nothing wrong. Like it's a good episode, but it just doesn't
Yeah.
really fit in an
Yeah.
album.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
It's like where for some lost episodes, it's like there's a reason why we think this probably should have not been made, or like we're not gonna put it in an album. This one's more like it just doesn't fit.
Yeah, because if you think about too, like reruns being aired on the radio. If I was a kid who was so excited for my daily Odyssey episode and it was this one, I'd be kind of disappointed.
Yeah, this one seems like a one-time maybe
Yeah,
episode.
you don't need to hear it all the time because it's just reflections on other episodes.
Hmm. Yeah, I do kind of think like I don't know exactly what it would look like, but something along these lines still would be fun if they had done
Yes.
like, and it wouldn't even have to be a recurring like something you would listen to more, but like just every year some kind of New Year's episode, even if it was outside of their albums, would be fun.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Down Gilead Lane episode when they hit, what is it,
The end of
100
album six,
episodes?
they kind of recap, or season
Yeah.
6, they recap like the entire first 6 seasons.
Yeah, and it's because they've had 100 episodes, right? Isn't that the reason?
Oh, I don't know. I
There's
never
a
thought
reason
about
behind
why.
it.
I thought it was more so. Well, yeah, I don't know. Caleb becomes a Christian in Down Gilead Lane at that point, and they kind of recap everything that happens up to that point.
Well, and that's also when Hope comes into the show, so it is kind of a reset.
No,
Yeah,
Hope's
it
not
is.
there yet at the end of season 6. She's like season 8.
But Hope is where that reflection is because they're looking back at all these things in Gilead Lane, and then he goes like, and we have some new things too, like the sound of training wheels.
I think you're thinking of a different recap than I am then, because they
Okay.
recap like Operation Lemonade and Grace and the Richters and all that kind of stuff at the end of season 6.
There's definitely a time when they look back because they've had 100 episodes.
And that would make sense too.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've listened to season 6 of Down Gilead Lane a lot, so.
Yeah, I know. And this isn't at the end of something. I think this was at the beginning.
Okay. So yeah, there could be one for that too.
Yeah. But it reminded me of that. Yeah, I was thinking it would be fun to look back. Maybe we should do that with our own show because we are getting close to the 1 year mark on our own show. To
Could
maybe
be fun, yeah.
we could look back on our year of Odyssey.
We're right around a year of.
We're actually probably just past a year because I have in my notes that the same week as this episode we'll be airing a bonus episode, which would mean this airs at the end
What
of
week
March.
are we on? 'Cause we're
I don't
probably
know.
past that.
I think we are past the year mark. Maybe our March bonus episode will be our year in review.
That could be kind of fun, yeah. Because we
Yeah.
debuted the first full week in March last year. I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, this will air
March 24th,
Tuesday,
No.
February 24th. Excuse us while we do some housekeeping.
Yeah, no. So we still have time.
Oh yeah, because it ends at the end of February. So yeah, maybe
That's the end of February bonus episode you're looking at. We're not to March yet.
that's correct. Yeah. So maybe our March bonus episode will be a year in review
Maybe, yeah.
of the Odyssey
I think
review.
that March 10th episode, which is episode 51 of the Odyssey review, or maybe it's the March 3rd, one of them will be our like 52nd episode, because our first couple like bonus type episodes were on a Tuesday, not on a Friday.
That's true. Yeah. What a time of reflection this episode has been.
Yeah. We've almost been a podcast for a full year now. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're glad you've all been along for the ride with us. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that about does it for this episode. Fun New
Yeah.
Year's episode. Obviously, it's not New Year's now, but it was a fun episode for that time. Yeah, we hope you enjoy listening, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe wherever you get the podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. Next time we will be starting album 4, which is Fundamentals, with the episode By Faith Noah. And like I said before, there will be a bonus episode later this week, so be on the lookout for that. And until next time, bye.